Have you ever felt that unsettling quiet? It's the kind you only find deep in the wilderness, miles from anyone. That's where the real world fades and something else begins. Today, we're venturing into 3 remote locations where the silence was broken by something truly terrifying. These are allegedly true stories from people who went seeking solitude and found horror instead. Our first story comes from a park ranger named Mark, who was assigned to a remote fire lookout tower in the dense forests of northern Idaho. For the first few weeks, it was paradise. Just him, the wind, and a sea of green trees stretching to the horizon. The only human contact was a crackly voice over the radio once a day. But about a month in, things started to feel off. Began subtly. He'd find his cabin door, which he always locked slightly ajar in the morning. Then, tools he left in a specific spot would be moved. He brushed it off as fatigue, the isolation playing tricks on his mind. One night, a massive storm rolled in. Rain hammered the small cabin, and lightning lit up the forest in blinding flashes. Huddled inside, Mark was trying to read by lantern light when he heard it. A soft, rhythmic tapping on the window pane. Tap, tap, tap. It was impossible. His tower was on stilts, 60 feet off the ground. There was no balcony, no ledge, nothing for anyone or anything to stand on. His heart pounded in his chest, froze, listening. The tapping continued, steady and deliberate, cutting through the roar of the storm. He slowly looked up, his eyes tracing the path to the window. In the next flash of lightning, he saw it. Pressed against the glass wasn't a face, but 2 long, pale hands. The fingers were impossibly thin, drumming against the pane. He scrambled back, knocking over his chair, his breath caught in his throat. The hands remained, silhouetted against the stormy night. He grabbed the radio, his hands shaking so violently he could barely press the button. Mayday, Mayday, look out for 27. Someone is outside my cabin. The radio crackled back. 4 to 7, repeat. You're 60 feet in the air, Mark. Are you all right? Before he could answer, another bolt of lightning illuminated the entire cabin. The hands were gone. For the rest of the night, he sat in a corner clutching a fire axe, watching the window until the sun came up. When his relief team arrived a week later, they found him pale and jumpy. He quit that day and never set foot in a national forest again. To this day, he doesn't know what was tapping on his window, but the image of those long, pale fingers is burned into his memory. Next, we travel to the vast, desolate Australian outback. This story comes from a couple, Chloe and Liam, who were on a road trip, exploring the rugged beauty of the interior. They were experienced campers, well-equipped for the harsh environment. One evening, they pulled off a deserted track to set up camp for the night, hundreds of kilometers from the nearest town. The sunset was spectacular, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. As darkness fell, a profound silence descended, broken only by the crackle of their campfire. It was peaceful, till they heard the music. It was faint at first, a tinny, distorted melody that seemed to be coming from everywhere and nowhere at once. An ice cream truck? Out here in the middle of the absolute nowhere? They laughed it off, thinking it must be a strange echo, or the wind playing tricks. But the music grew louder, closer. The cheerful tune became menacing in the oppressive darkness. They stood up, peering into the pitch-black landscape beyond their firelight. There were no headlights, no engine sounds, just that creepy, looping jingle. Panic began to set in. They quickly doused their fire, packed their gear in a frenzy, and jumped into their 4x4. As they sped away, they looked back. In the distance, where their camp had been, 2 faint pinpricks of light appeared, bobbing up and down as if approaching. They floored it, not stopping until they reached the dim lights of a remote roadhouse hours later. The shaken attendant told them they weren't the first to tell such a story. Other travelers had reported the ghostly jingle in that same stretch of desert. No one knows its origin. Some say it's the spirit of a lost child, others a bizarre prank. But for Chloe and Liam, it was a terrifying reminder that even in the most empty of places, you might not be alone. For our final story, we head to the frigid, windswept coast of northern Canada, shared by a geologist named Arthur. He was part of a small team surveying a remote, uninhabited island in the Arctic Circle. The landscape was stark and beautiful, a world of rock, ice, and endless gray sea. His team set up a base camp, and for several days their work was routine. One afternoon, while mapping a rocky shoreline about a mile from camp, Arthur stumbled upon something that didn't belong. It was a small wooden doll, crudely carved, with button eyes and yarn for hair. It was weathered but clearly not ancient. He found it odd. Who would leave a doll here? This island was supposedly untouched by modern man. He thought little of it and continued his work. But over the next few days, he found more. Another doll tucked into a rock crevice. One sitting atop a high cliff, looking out to sea.
Ow.
And then a small circle of them, arranged as if in a meeting. There were no footprints around them, save for his own, he told his team. But they dismissed it as him being spooked by the isolation. They hadn't seen a thing. Arthur started to feel like he was being watched. The feeling was constant, a prickle on the back of his neck. He began documenting the locations of the dolls on his map, noticing a pattern. They seemed to be forming a perimeter around their camp. The final straw came one morning when he woke up and unzipped his tent. Sitting right outside the flap, facing him, was a new doll. This one was different.
Ow.
It was carved to look like him, right down to the red parka he was wearing. He hadn't worn that parka until the temperature dropped 2 days ago. Someone had seen him. They were close. He let out a yell that brought the whole team running. When they saw the doll, the mood shifted from skepticism to pure fear. They packed up immediately, calling for an emergency extraction. As the helicopter lifted off, Arthur looked down at the island. He could have sworn he saw a small figure standing on the shore, watching them leave. No one ever went back to that island to finish the survey. The origin of the dolls and who was placing them remains a chilling, unanswered question. The world is full of vast, empty spaces that hold secrets we can't explain. These stories are a stark reminder that when you step into the wild, you're stepping into a world that doesn't play by our rules. Thank you for watching. If you have a story from a remote place, share it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more unsettling tales. Stay safe out there.